Okay, so now I'm going into the Museum of Holocaust Art, celebration of survival, Barbara Hines, and Holocaust heroes, fierce female, Linda Stein. So let's see if I can get in here. This is the Holocaust menorah, 2017, copper and stainless steel, found with objects. It's beautiful. This is all like silk press. Jewish mother and child terrorized, bronze 1980, unknown artist. And this is called 16 Righteous Gentiles. And this right here is just amazing. This is all silk screened prints from Holocaust individuals. These are all hanging from the ceilings. You just walk through. It's a mirror that you can look into. I don't know what the mirror symbolizes. I'll have to ask. This is just amazing. This right here says, whoever saves one life is as if he has saved the whole world. And these were individuals who helped Holocaust. This is a Polish social worker. Her name was Irene Sendler. She grew up in a small town outside of Warsaw where her father operated a tuberculosis clinic for poor Jewish patients. And during the Nazi occupation, Sendler risked her life to smuggle Jewish children out of the walled Warsaw ghetto and hide them with Catholic families. She saved an overwhelming 2,500 lives before being arrested and tortured by the Gestapo in October 1943. Sendler narrowly escaped execution. Forced into hiding, she continued to aid Jews through the end of the war in 1945. And this guy here is Giorgio Palasca. He was from Italy, 1910, died 1992. He was an Italian businessman. He sent diplomatic posts in the Hungarian capital of Budapest. German forces invaded Hungary 2 years later. Palasca worked closely with the Spanish embassy to provide shelter and paperwork that would protect Jews from deportation to the concentration camps. Palasca even went so far as to pose as the Spanish ambassador, forging documents that offered Jews legal protection. His bold actions are credited with saving more than 3,000 lives in a matter of months. And this savior is from Japan. His name is Chiun Sugihara. He was born in 1900, died in 1986. Fluent in Russian, Japanese diplomat. He was posted in Kaunas, Lithuania in March 1939. After World War II began on September 1st, Sugihara observed the desperate plight of Jewish families struggling to flee the Nazis. And he issued more than 2,000 visas, allowing some 6,000 people to leave Europe through Japan after the war. Sugihara was forced to resign his position and worked odd jobs to support his family. He died in 1986, 2 years after his life-saving deeds were officially recognized by the State of Israel. This right here, this guy was from the United Kingdom. He was a British spy, and his name was Major Francis Frank Foley. Born 1884, died 1958. He began his career with the Secret Service after serving in the Army during World War I. During the Second World War, Foley lived in Berlin, where he worked as a passport control officer. Despite strict immigration restrictions, Foley persisted in issuing visas that allowed Jews to leave Germany. As the danger escalated, Foley risked his own life by hiding Jews in his apartment and going and personally rescue prisoners of the concentration camps. In total, Foley saved the lives of an estimated 10,000 German Jews. And it just goes on and on, guys. These are all people from other countries and other nationalities that actually helped. This is Schindler, Oskar Schindler, from the movie Schindler's List. He's 1908 to 1971. He was a 31-year-old Nazi businessman. And they made a movie about him. Schindler, he died in poverty in 1974, but gained fame thanks to the 1983 book and 1993 film Schindler's List. And this right here is a guy from Portugal. This is Aristides Mendes, Sousa Mendes, 1885 to 1954. He's a general consul in Portuguese. After the war, he was disgraced by his government. He died in poverty in 1954. But it says here, Mendes was stationed in the French port city of Bordeaux, where the German army invaded France in the spring of 1940. The government of Portugal forbid its diplomats from allowing Jews to enter the country. Watching as Jewish refugees filled the streets, Sousa Mendes deliberately defied orders and granted as many as 10,000 life-saving visas. This right here is this man is from China. And this is Ho Fengshan, 1901 and 1997. He risked his life to save thousands, beginning in 1938. This guy right here is Ralph Wallenberg, 1912. We don't know when he died, but he was a Swedish businessman. All of these guys risked their lives to save the Jewish people from the Holocaust. This right here is a German guy, Albert Goldster Goering, 1895 to 1966. This one is George Ferdinand Duckwitz, 1904 to 1973. During World War II, Nazi Party member George Ferdinand Duckwitz was stationed to a diplomatic post in Copenhagen, Denmark. There, Duckwitz learned of the Nazi plan to deport all Jews of the country to concentration camps. After failing to dissuade Nazi officials, Duckwitz risked his life to warn the Jewish community in Denmark and aid their escape. As a result of his actions, more than 7,000 Danish Jewish citizens were ferried across the sea to safety in Sweden. This here is an Ireland guy. From Ireland, he's of Master Sergeant Hugh O'Flaherty, 1898 to 1963. Be strong and have courage, Rosa Robata. This guy is from Spain, Angel Sanz-Brits. He also risked his life as a diplomat, Spanish diplomat, rescuing Hungarian Jews. This is a woman. She's from Poland, 1889 and 1968. Polish novelist Zofia Kosaka Suzuki. Varian Fry, United States, 1907 and 1967. He was an American journalist. All of these people on the walls helped the Jews in the Holocaust. And this is a guy from Bulgaria, Posho Dimitar. This is Lime Bala. She's from Albania, born in 1910. In 1943, at the time of Ramadan, 17 Jews escaping from the Germans came to her village in Albania. The villagers dressed the Jews as farmers, fed them, and sheltered them for 15 months until the war ended. The Muslim villagers protected these Jewish families under Besa, their no moral code of honor, which demands that one take responsibility for the lives of others in a time of need. Lime Bala, Bala Lime. This is his oil painting by Lawrence Jeffrey. These are a series of paintings by Geoffrey Lawrence. Study one for those that river keeps. It's pastel on paper, 2006. Very nice collection. The profile, the portraits, they just speak to you. Just look at the emotion on her face. When I lived in Germany, I went to Poland and I went to the concentration camp there, and this right here is just as meaningful here. This right here is just really says something. The portraits really speak to you. Pastel on paper by Geoffrey Lawrence. This is a photo of this is a portrait of Anne Frank by Donna Van Hooser. It's mosaic and it's in 2017. Beautiful. This is Sir Nicholas George Winton. He's from the United Kingdom, 1909 to 2013. He was a British stockbroker. He's 29 years old when the Germans forces occupied Czechoslovakia. And now Winton traveled to Prague and arranged for the rescue of hundreds of refugee children facing almost certain death at the hands of the Nazis. Of course, this is a picture of Anne Frank. Take sides, neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Take sides, neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. That's a very strong statement.
What would it take for you to be an upstander rather than a bystander?
Even a hunter cannot kill a bird which flies to him for refuge. Wow, this is amazing. This is a tree full of stars. God is your light and path. You have a purpose. I will forgive and I will love. When in doubt, always look to God for answers. This is beautiful. Some down here on the floor too. It's beautiful. These are all shell art.
As they passed around that filthy urn with watery broom, it was known that tuberculosis that could dip into the middle of the urn felt protected in a way. She throws the spoon at him, spontaneously, not thinking, and then realizes, my God, what did I do? He's going to hurt me.
This is a collection by Linda Stein.
And hides.
And it's all leather archival pigment on canvas, fabric, metal zippers. And it was 2015.
She takes it and says yes. What would you do in a situation like this? How do you keep your self-respect and survive?
This quote right here is dedicated to Nancy Wake, dies at 98, proud spy and Nazi foe.
Continuum between bullying and bravery, persecution and protection.
And it's, wow, this is the Rabbi by Gil Singleton.
I use the shell also as a metaphor for power versus vulnerability.
It's a little dark down here in this hallway here. These are all fierce women heroes by Linda Stein, Noor Inayat Khan.
The 4 B's are the bully, there's the void.
Person who just sits around doing nothing, that's a real bully, which is called the bystander.
Most people are bystanders.
So this is interesting. This is Noor Inayat Khan. This is again by Linda Stein. And she was... She was born in Moscow in 1913. She died in 1944. She was born in Moscow to an Indian father and American mother. Noor Unisa Inayat Khan is a direct descendant of Tipu Sultan, the 18th century Muslim ruler of the Kingdom of Mysore, India. She escaped from Paris to England after the fall of France in World War I. In 1940, she joined the Women's Auxiliary Air Force. And in 1942, she became a radio operator for the Air France section of the Special Operations Executive. She traveled to Paris and joined the physician network, codenamed Prosper. Soon after, all other radio operators were arrested by the Shahidans. She continued alone to transmit messages to London to remain agents of physician Prosper Network. She was now the most wanted British agent in Paris and could transmit for only 20 minutes at a time from one place. The life expectancy of radio operators in Paris were 6 weeks before the Nazi radio hunting trucks would track them down. But Inayat Khan survived for 4 months constantly on the move before she was betrayed. After her arrest, she fought so fiercely that SD officers feared her, interrogated for over a month, attempting escape twice. She was then imprisoned at Pforzheim in solitary confinement for 10 months. In 1944, she was moved to Dachau concentration camp, where she was beaten by an SS officer and possibly sexually assaulted, then executed 2 days later. Her last words before she was shot was "Liberty," posthumously awarded a British George Cross in 1949 and a French Croix de Guerre. It was said that in trial after the war that she gave the Gestapo no information and lied constantly. She was definitely a hero, very fierce. Very fierce.
These are the 10 women that represent
This is very deep. This hallway right here is very, very deep.
Some became journalists.
This is beautiful by Linda Stein. It's just very touching. Really grabs you. This is a unique, just unique creative idea of how to dedicate and recognize women heroes who fought against Nazi occupation. Heroes like Hannah Sinesh, Hadassah Bimko Rosencraft. Ruth Gruber.
I see situations of huge unfairness. I mean,
Zeev Lubitkin.
you do to break the balance.
And Gertrude Luckner. These are absolutely gorgeous. Very, very touching. And this is a tribute to Raymond Lacey's mother in incest. And hers is the biggest here.
We each have inside ourselves bravery that we may not have even tapped into. Courage and bravery is not the
This is amazing.
it's proceeding in spite of it. So I ask, what would it take if you
Raymond Lacey's mother insists on leaving Luxembourg in 1940, bringing her family to America, where she receives a perfunctory Nazi letter of property seizure. This is absolutely beautiful. So very touching.
my artwork, my activity continually